Hello, Brian. Here's your sewer scope from today's inspection. Here we are, right at the top of the key. There's the access points. A little tricky making the turn here. Nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary. Just there was not much of a sweep there in this in the fitting. So what I eventually did was I jammed my arm down there and just kind of nudged the camera head in the right direction, and that eventually will get us going. Give me just a sec here. Sometimes you can rotate the cable and just kind of twist it into place and get it moving the right way. But there we go. Jamming your hand down there is the better approach. I took a pause here also to stand up, turn some water on so I can wash off the camera lens so we get a better picture than this. Take just a second for some water to start flowing here. There we go. Alright, so we're going to come up on our first obstruction here. So right off the bat, you'll see we're underwater, right? So something's blocking the pipe. Sometimes there's a dip in the pipe, but generally not in cast iron. So we're running underwater here. So the pipe is potentially fully clogged with water, but again, keep in mind that the camera head isn't really, it's not as large in diameter as the pipe. Obviously, it's a lot smaller than that. So even if the camera lens is completely underwater, it doesn't mean that the pipe is completely full of water. Hang in there for just a bit. Okay, so now we're on the other end of things, and we see, hold on. Anyway, so we see this wad of paper right there that eventually just gets flushed away. Notice the water, how it's rushing through now. So it's not stagnant. It is flowing, right? So it's not just passive there. So I'm backing up to see if I can see what was going on. And this is what's going on, right? So root growth coming in, not common to have roots growing into cast iron. Clay, yes, because the connections are just pressure fitted, but in a cast iron pipe, then we worry that there may be some damage in there, or that the connection point failed, and the roots are growing in there. So definitely something to look at once the pipe is clean to figure out what's going on with that. The other thing is, on the return trip coming back, there is no standing water in there, so the camera head isn't underwater. So that was what was causing the obstruction, right? So root growth almost completely across the diameter of the pipe, and it's starting to catch paper products. Eventually what's going to happen is if that's left on its own devices, it's going to completely knot up the pipe, catching paper, and eventually it'll back up into the house. Alright, so we're coming up to the connection from cast iron to clay, and as expected there are roots growing in. This isn't terrible, just a little bit coming in, but again, left alone, it's going to want to continue more. Okay, so this is more involved. We've got bigger root growth there. More roots growing in there. Almost half the pipe covered. So nearly completely blocked here. Able to push through that little hole there on the bottom. So very dirty in this section, holding water. Okay, and then up ahead, right at about 115 feet, I can't go any further. So we are completely blocked. And again, is it a tangle of roots that I can't push through, or is there some damage or failure in the pipe? I can't say for sure. So the obvious next step would be to run some cutter heads through there, cable out the pipe, see if there is any kind of damage, and obviously get to the end of the pipe where your line meets up with the city connection. So all of that will be in your written reports, as well as recommendations on next steps. But definitely further evaluation is warranted in this situation. Having it cleaned, and if there is damage, figuring out how extensive it is, and what the cost is going to be to put things right. I'm going to keep the camera head rolling as I pull back. Please read through your written report, and as always, reach out to me with any questions or if I can be of further assistance.